I've got the radiator out of my 2005 Jeep Liberty CRD turbo diesel, and I'm going to be showing you a little repair I'm going to do on it because I've got a tiny little leak in that corner. I've got this out, and I've got it cleaned up because I'm getting ready to do a pressure test on this intercooler, and what I found is I had a little leak up in this corner. Now, it's not the first time that I found a leak, because at 100,000 miles when I did the first timing belt, I noticed I had a little leak here, and it was just on this one tube. So I put JB Weld on either side of the tube as my fix to seal it, and it works. And I've had to do this on other radiators because this is a pretty common spot. This is the inlet of the radiator here, so all your hot air out of the turbo comes right into here, goes through the intercooler, and then it comes out the outlet and goes to the intake. So this part of the intercooler sees a lot of thermal cycling because that's where your hottest air is always coming in, cools off, heats up, cools off. So these get these real minor little fatigue stress thermal cracks. And that happens just right in here where the tube meets the kind of the intake. And so, I mean, you can't see any of it, but it's small enough that there's a little bit of a leak there. And it's really hard to quantify how much that leak is. You know, you can have this leak, and you can have it a lot worse than what I've had and what I have now, and it not cause any check engine lights or any other issues. So it's hard to say how much leaks out, but, you know, I can cause a little bit to leak blowing at it by putting my mouth on the inlet here and then blocking the outlet with my hand. I can cause it to leak, and I can make some bubbles form when I put soapy water on it and blow on it. So I can see where the leak comes from. I can see I'm doing that, and I can only put like 1 or maybe 2 psi of pressure on here by blowing on it. I don't have that much strength in my lungs. Nobody does. So, you know, this is going to see 19 psi or something running around the Jeep, so it's going to be a lot worse. And I don't know, is it worse when it gets hot and like maybe the crack opens up, or maybe the crack swells shut? I don't know. But point being is there is some leak here. There's a chance for it to come out. So I'm going to be doing a little patch job on it with some JB Weld. So I've done this before about 100,000 miles ago, and I'll be doing it again. This tube here still looks like it's holding fine, but I noticed I'm getting some air bubbles kind of down in about these 3, maybe even crossing into this one. So I'm going to put JB Weld in here, just like I've done with this one, and seal it up. Alright, this is the JB Weld that I'm using, so you know what it looks like. This is regular JB Weld, not JB Quick. And what I'm going to do is you squeeze out equal parts of it onto my mixing surface. I'll mix it around. Don't stir it. Try to kind of paddle it over because you'll get fewer air voids in it when you kind of paddle it over. So I'll try to show you how to mix that and minimize the amount of air bubbles you get into it.
So if you've never mixed up JB Weld before, the end of it's sealed when you first get it, and the cap has a little puncture mechanism on it. So you can puncture it. See, it starts oozing out there. What you want to do is put out equal amounts of both JB Weld compounds. I'm just going to go ahead and do plenty of it because I'd rather have extra than not enough. And you can always mix up a little bit more, but I'd rather just throw away some on the cardboard. So I'm trying to keep the volume equal. So one way to do that is 2 lines. Do a couple of lines. And boy, I almost feel like I don't have enough, but mix that up and get it on there. That's one reason to use the slower setting stuff. If you need more, you can take the time to mix it up. So what I'm going to do is not stir, stir around and around. I'm just going to try to paddle it along. So kind of scrape, spread, scrape, spread. You can go across a little bit, spread, and that kind of helps mix, but not sure as a camera angle if that's the best one for you or not. So we're just trying to get it so it has this nice even color, and I don't have any white streaks or dark streaks. No salt and pepper. So there we go, I got it mixed up, and man, that doesn't look like as much as I thought it would be at first. So I'll probably end up mixing up some more here. But I can go ahead and start spreading this on and show you how that goes.
So I'm going to take my mixing paddle, which has JB Weld on it. I'm just going to come in try to smush some of it into that corner there. I can even get a little bit off and work it down in. Try to keep it so my hand doesn't block the camera and you can see what I'm doing. So see, I'm able to kind of work it in there. This stuff's relatively liquid. It'll kind of flow, so gravity will help me out. So I'm going to concentrate on this one right now until I feel like I've got pretty good coverage. Then I'll move on and do a little bit more on the first one. I really should have started there, but so I'm pushing it the whole way through. I can feel that it's hitting the in tank on the other side, so I know I've got some good coverage there. So let me scrape a little bit more and come back over here, work it back into this one. I mean, don't be worried about getting too much on. You don't want to just cover up a huge surface area, but you can basically totally fill this first little thin void for the purposes of trying to stop this leak. Okay, so I got those pretty good. So I'm gonna move on. I guess I should also mention that you want this really, really clean before you do it. You don't want any oil left over. And what you'll probably find when you pull this out is that there's a big oily spot of just caked on oily dirt stuff that's built up there. And just this whole area is just one big oil blob. So definitely clean it up real well. I use the pressure washer. You can use regular Dawn. Dawn does do a good job of cutting oil, but I'd probably use it more as a finishing cleaner. Alright, so I've definitely got those. I'm a little low on JB Weld. I wouldn't mind doing that number 4 there, but I'm going to flip this over and work the other side. So as you can see there, I've managed to work through some JB Weld to here and some to there. So I want to get that down in that crack well, but I don't have a whole lot down here and there, so I'm going to concentrate on those. So I'll come in with a big blob and massage that in. I'm definitely not going to have enough to do my 4th. What did I say about mixing? Mix up more than you think you need. Okay, so I feel like I've got those two pretty good over here. Maybe just a little bit more overlap on the old. But I don't feel great about, there's really nothing down in there, so I'll need to get some more on that. So I'm over here scraping my mixing surface to bunch up some. I'll bring it in over here. Try to work that in. Alright, let me mix up some more and do no. Alright, so I've mixed up more, quite a bit more, and I'm back and gonna try to sponge in a little bit. I'm gonna go over and try to do my next one now from this side before I flip it back. This is just me trying to pretty it up now. Alright, let me flip it over and go back and do this on the other side. Alright, again, back over there. Still got some some more mixed up here. Squeeze in some more into my number 4 tube there. So it looks like I've got pretty good coverage. I don't think I want to do another tube, but I will go ahead and try to work in a little bit more into all of these so that when it runs down, I've just got plenty around there to seal it.
I'm just trying to work it into the corners, come back, work into the corners.
Yeah, I've got plenty of JB Weld left over. I think I will try to go for that last one. I think I've got enough to do it. So I say that now and maybe I won't. Well, I got a pretty good blob push through on that one. Let me come back and work that back in a bit. Make sure to come over and cover that bar. Those I kind of pushed a little out, so I'll work that back. And maybe just push in a little more. So again, if I had done the JB quick, I wouldn't have so much time to work with it. It would have been hard by now, and I know this way I've got all the time that I need to really get that flowed down to where it needs to be. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna set it upright and then we'll leave it overnight. So this is the final JB Weld cured now, a little less than 24 hours. You can see I've got coverage all down in there. And this JB Weld didn't flow quite as much as, like, see this old one over here. Maybe it's pretty hot when I was doing this, and last time it was a little bit cooler. But didn't flow quite as much, you know, make nice pools down there. But it's perfectly functional. So, time to get this intercooler back in the Jeep.